to Mike Evans being one piece away, Danny?
He makes a compelling case. Like, the Niners would be favored to win quite a few divisions in football. Like, they'd obviously be favored to win the NFC South, just to throw an easy one out there for you. So, like, the Niners won 13 games, and I remember us talking about it on the air and off. They would keep winning, but they had all of these injuries, and Brew would be like, when are we getting Brock Purdy into the show? And it was like, well, because we didn't really take them seriously because of all of the injuries. And whenever they played a good offense late, they got a ton of points scored on them. Obviously, Seattle in the playoff game put up 41. The Bears had that huge offensive game late in the season. So I think we were proven correct that they weren't really a contender last year. They just happened to keep winning. But give them Fred Warner. Give them Nick Bosa. Give them their first-round pick from last year back, Mykal Williams. Give them whatever they do in the draft this year. Give them Mike Evans. Like, if we look at the wide receiver production that they got production from George Kittle. They got production from Christian McCaffrey. But they got really nothing from the wide receiver position.
650, with nobody went over 650.
Right. And now you get Mike Evans. Now, again, they had...
CMC was...
Yeah, CMC and Kittle were over it. But just in terms of, we talk about offensive genius Kyle Shanahan, he had a tight end who he could throw to and get production. He had a running back he could. But now he has someone on the outside that can... So a 13-win team with all those defensive injuries and adding Mike Evans, the only reason their odds are as low as they are is because Seattle and the Rams are in their own division, so the odds makers feel like they've got a path really to the wild card and not a home playoff game. But they're a really, really good team.
They are a really good team, and I hear Mike when he's talking about them being one piece away last year and him being that piece last year. But again, they were without those players that you mentioned on defense. And then now you're talking about entering into a season with your number one target offensively outside of CMC and George Kittle. He's just recovering from an Achilles injury 2 months ago. Happened in the wild card round. And so you're going to be without him for a large part of the season, if not all of it. Mike Evans is going to go into this situation as their best option in the passing game. Clear cut. Like Ricky Pearsall, injuries, he showed some flashes. I think he'll be a compliment. They were able to see and get some good production from him. But Mike Evans, what made this so intriguing is, yes, they feel like a team that can win. We believe that they will always be in it because of their coach well. They're going to be schemed up well offensively. But in that division I'm not buying it. I'm not sold. Look, if he's saying he was the one missing piece, well, if George Kittle isn't available, is he now the one missing piece that you still won't have?
No, that's a good point.
Yeah. So, I want to unpack this a few ways. First and foremost, I do believe that Mike Evans believes that because Mike Evans had options to go and the money would have all been the same. It's not like the 49ers came in and offered him some crazy contract where you were just like Mike Evans was like, yeah, I went here because I think I have a chance to win a Super. But it was really just like they gave me a lot of money and so, you know, I'm at the end of my ability to make them this money, so of course I'm going to take it. And so I think it says a lot about the franchise and the 49ers, and people are having question marks about Shanahan, which is bizarre, around Brock Purdy, etc. And so like Mike Evans was clear of like he wants to go to a team that he can legitimately contend. The money was going to be there. The ability to compete was going to be there for many other teams that he could have found himself on. And it's, you know, teams were ready to take him on board, and he wanted to go to San Francisco. And so to me, that is it's important. It's important to kind of plant that flag and emphasize. So, I wanted to kind of do that first. But in terms of the whole one piece away, if we take the exact team last year, okay, injuries and all, just the exact team, how it all unfolded, Bosa, etc., like the exact team, and now you add Mike Evans. This is where it's interesting, cause on one side you could say of course they weren't one piece away. You just had Mike Evans and now all of a sudden you beat the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs. Like, are you kidding me? You got dominated in that game. And it's true. Got absolutely destroyed. There's no way around that obviously. But what about against the Seattle Seahawks when you were competing for the number 1 seed and then potentially getting a first-round bye and home field advantage? Would have that game been different with Mike Evans? Yeah, of course. Of course that game could have or would have been different. I'm not saying you would have beaten them. Again, I don't know and it doesn't even really matter in this moment of time. But let's say they do win that game and that was a weird game and I think Seattle deserved to win that game. It was a fascinating defensive game and because of the way how that game was unfolding Seattle clearly was very conservative and was just like we're just trying to come away with the win. So those types of games it's always hard to truly know because Seattle literally was just like we're just trying to come away with the win. We don't care how it looks and and so if the 49ers started scoring more or made it more competitive it's nowhere written that Seattle wouldn't have put up had a better offensive game. We clearly know they're capable as they did it against the 49ers, they did it against Seattle, etc. But regardless, if we don't try to get too lost in all of that, it's still possible that maybe the 49ers could have won that game. And then if they do, now everything actually fundamentally changes. And it's too hard just to be well, then the 49ers would have faced so and we don't actually now have any idea what that playoffs would have looked like. We have no idea who exactly the 49ers would have faced in the divisional round. Are you playing and then are you playing the Seattle? You playing Los Angeles? It's just it becomes the absolute ultimate. Maybe the Philadelphia Eagles win now and now since they won they're hey, we won a Super Bowl last year. See, we can do it, guys. And then they find their footing. Who honestly actually knows. So, it's tough. But if we still just kind of look at it as take that exact team last year and now bring it into this year and you add Mike Evans, you're no doubt a better team. But that's not even the situation that you're in because now you are both getting simultaneously healthier. Specifically defensively. But then you're losing Robert Saleh, who it's just at this point people have and I think people kind of went up and down with their perception of who Robert Saleh is. But I think it's quite obvious that at this point in time people really respect his defensive mind. You've lost that now. And then and again it's not to say that you now take this massive step back defensively but you don't have Robert Saleh. And again, you still have a good defense, a competent defensive coordinator, I believe, at least. And then, of course, now you're losing potentially other offensive, having other offensive issues obviously with KD to me in order to make the 49ers a bona fide, Super Bowl contender. Okay. And obviously this is just wide receivers, but if we just throw in Christian McCaffrey, KD, etc., you need a KD and a Mike Evans and maybe even Christian McCaffrey, although Christian McCaffrey will always be the bridge. You need them. If we were looking at this from a basketball standpoint, you need those guys to be your Klay Thompson, your Draymond Green, right? Your Chris Bosh, that's what you need those guys to be rather than consistently your Steph, your KD, etc. You can't consistently rely on those guys to be the Avengers as everyone always used to say, although no one says that anymore, to be the Avengers because it is a long season and I don't think it's consistent, and that is where you need your Ricky Pierce alto to become hey, you guys drafted me I'm the guy I'm the guy I'm the one that now has a 1,500 yard season, blah 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 blah. And then that allows Mike Evans to just be this extra piece. You take off the massive burden that you constantly put on Christian McCaffrey or KD, etc. And obviously, I don't even know when you're even going to have KD. No idea. But that's what they need to be able to do. When if that becomes the case, then you are a Mike Evans away. And you are just a piece away. But if not, if you get this exact production essentially and just this exact quality of play, well then I think you have potentially a similar season as last year, but it just opens the door maybe a little bit more to maybe we can beat the Seattle Seahawks in that, in that game. And obviously it's going to unfold differently this coming season, but just whatever that version is, whatever that version is. I mean, yeah, I just think that you still need the rest of the team to kind of catch up a little bit, to feel that you're just one piece away. But I mean, to me the 49ers are always going to consistently be competent and consistently be put in positions to succeed and win games outside of obviously just, mass cluster injuries and all that good stuff. And so if the 49ers just repeat a level of competence and then you add in a healthy, high-quality, resilient Mike Evans, well then yeah, then honestly then it's just like this is. I think this is actually another great way to phrase it. When I get the odds set up, I think almost like 8th is actually probably perfect for Super Bowl. I mean, like, listen, you're going into an NFL season. You got top 10 odds to win a Super Bowl. I mean, what honestly, like, that's great. I mean, to feel that you're one of the top 10 teams that can win a Super Bowl. Like, that's you. Everyone always wants to be the top 3, top 2, top 1. That's all well and good. If you legitimately have a real chance to win a Super Bowl going into next season, I think as a fan, that's all you can ask for. If the Ricky Pierce Halls of this team actually elevate and you don't need Mike Evans to be the number 1 and all that, the whole rant that I just went on, it's like those odds dramatically increase. You then now start to be like top 5, top 4, top, whatever it may be. If not, then yeah, you're your top 8, which is like, hey, we have a legit chance to win the Super Bowl. But when we are going up against that team that's top 5, top 4, top 3, top 2, we can see, as we learned last season, things can go astray rather quickly, right? One game that's kind of close, kind of weird, but still close, still within reason. If only that ball doesn't flip in the air off Christian McCaffrey, in the red zone and an interception, like maybe we win that game. But then also, you play that same team again and you get absolutely dominated. You get absolutely destroyed. And again, obviously KD injured and all that, but still happened. It still happened. And so, and really the 49ers took advantage of the Philadelphia Eagles' ineptitude. If the Eagles were just moderately more competent, then they should have won. The Eagles should have won that game. But because of who the 49ers are, their levels of resilience, their coaching, etc., they deserve to win that game. And that's why they deserve all the credit in the world. But in order to truly be great, in order to truly be a top 5, top 4, top 3 Super Bowl contender, like, you need to be able to do more than take advantage of another team's ineptitudes or just be kind of, a little bit more competent than another team. Like, you're trying to be great. You're trying to be special. You're trying to be elite. So, that's just kind of the way how I'm looking at it right now. And yeah, I think the rest is just on some of these other players. It's less about Mike Evans. It's less about the addition of Mike Evans and what a Mike Evans has to be for this team. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the San Francisco 49ers? Do you agree with Mike Evans that they're just one piece, that they were just one piece away and that he is indeed that piece? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.